We're Seth and Natalia. We bought Windrose, a 38-foot 1977 Custom Ingrid Atkins sailboat in Hawaii. We're working hard to restore her in preparation to untie from this island and sail the world. We are excited to share our journey with you so you can see our world alongside us. Alright, so we are heading out without an engine. It is 5:16 in the morning. I don't know why this makes me nervous. First sail is up. I think I'm gonna throw up. Alright, we did it. We are actually sailing. Entrance of the harbor, ahoy! Entrance of the harbor, ahoy! Alright, we got all of our sails doing the work. We got the main, we got the jib, we got the spinnaker, and Seth even hoisted the mizzen. It's taken us about 2 hours and 10 minutes so far to get out of the harbor. Taking down the spinnaker. We had a lot of sail out, and the wind really picked out once we left the harbor. So he's reefing, and I'm just trying to make the channel markers.
We've been on and off again and again. I don't know which way we're going, no control. You push me, then you pull me back in. Don't know if I can decipher how your mind works. Yeah, you leave me wondering what it's like to feel your skin. I will keep on trying till you give me a sign. Give me a sign. Oh, give me a sign. Baby, give me a sign. Just give me one more. You leave me hanging, begging for more. Think that I'm addicted to this camp.
Alright, it's pretty windy. We took down the mizzen and the spinnaker, so we just have the jib and the main up. I know, it's hard because the tiller's in an opposite direction. Is this good or straighten out now? It's really windy. We got a lot of wind for today.
This is to be a little risky and go for it, cause I want you close. I'm so exposed when you're keeping me wondering. You know I'd do anything to be in your arms again. So give me a sign. Give me a sign. Oh, give me a sign. Baby, give me a sign. Just give me one more. Talking to you, here we go again. Staying up all night to see if you've been texting me. Where do we go from here? I wanna go all in. So give me a sign. I just wanna let you know I could go for this, no more tricks. We could take things slow. Say you think about it too when the lights go out and there's no doubt that I should.
Alright, so my plants are doing good. I got the command strips on them and they're sailproof. They're doing pretty good, even with being heeled over. Alright, so we're just plugging along. No engine, no electricity, no autopilot, no depth finder, no wind sensor. What else do we not have? Pretty much nothing, so just solely us and the wind. We do have the wind, and that's good. Quite a lot of wind. It's a little choppy though. We're getting some swell, but we kind of stay put. Seems pretty good. And we have actually been taking the tiller and we've kind of been leaving it loose and let it been doing its thing. It's just been kind of going back and forth, just kind of as we go straight. She kind of sails herself a little bit, so we're just kind of kicking back, relaxing, trying to relax. It is still a little nerve-wracking because it's like we had to reef or take down the lines and just kind of figuring things out, but so far so good. We have the 2 sails up and we're plugging along. How many knots do you think we're going? Who's to say? Maybe 5 knots, I don't know.
Give me a sign.
Alright, Seth made the mistake of having maybe some coffee, and the caffeine's not great for seasickness, so he's a little bit sick, so he threw up over the side a couple times. Yeah, I thought he ran over there so fast, but then he kind of tripped, and I thought maybe he was gonna fall off the boat, so like I just kind of got nervous for a second, and then he just started throwing up, so whatever. I was a little sick for a little bit, but it was just kind of choppy. Like the bowsprit was kind of, at one point, kind of went into the water. Maybe that's when you got sick the most. Seth was up there when the bowsprit was kind of like hitting the water,
well,
but now
it was when we tried to tack that first time we didn't make it, so
yeah,
we had no speed and we were just
yeah, that's true. Yeah, we tried to tack the first time, but I think I did a little too slow. I didn't push the tiller all the way over, so we lost all of our speed, and then we just kind of sat there, so we had to pick up speed again, and we did it again. But anytime you're bobbing, going like literally a knot or no knots, you just get a little sick out here too. A little rolly, but now the waves port is left, so starboard is right. All right, so we have the waves on our starboard side just kind of pushing us in. We're turning around and going to the harbor. It's 10:30, so we had a good sail, but we want to give ourselves time to like get into the harbor, and the harbor takes the longest time because there's a little bit less wind. So I would say so far our first sail with no engine and no electronics, keeping it old school, is pretty good.
Got a little spicy there going out of the channel.
It did get spicy. It got really spicy. We had the spinnaker, the jib, the main, and the mizzen all out. Got right out of the harbor, got smacked with like maybe 11, 12, 13 knots of wind, and we were like heeled over. So I had to turn us into the wind, which took me a bit. And then Seth had to start taking down some sails, which we needed them in the harbor, but we didn't need them as much in the open ocean. So got a little spicy. We're probably gonna have to spice it back up though as we go in and maybe hoist those other sails. What'd you say?
Huh?
Are we gonna hoist the sails going in? Maybe once we're in?
On how much wind we have.
Yeah.
We might not have to because it's later in the day, so
yeah,
the wind was supposed to pick up this afternoon.
Yeah,
so
we're probably gonna have more wind going in the harbor than when we had at 6 in the morning. So we're gonna leave the two sails up now, and we're gonna dock under sail. So that'll be fun. That's gonna be the spiciest part of the whole time. Getting out today was okay. Our boat wanted to sail forward versus kind of backing up, so we just kind of had to turn it manually. But she got rocking and rolling, so spiciness is still to come. It is nice though not having an engine, and that's why we eventually went to electric, because when we came here first time, brought this boat into Pearl Harbor, the diesel, just like when you're like, when it just the wind is carrying it in, that's what got me super seasick when we brought it in. So it's kind of nice to not have any of that smell or the sound. It's just so quiet out here. It's just us. And it's nice. Us and the wind. This is really trippy though. It's like, I'm not used to having all the moving waters, but we we are utilizing our cooler because we're trying not to use the fridge because we have no electricity, so we don't want we don't want it to have any air come out. I don't know if that even makes sense. Do you need anything from down here?
Huh?
Do you need anything from down here?
Can you take this down there?
Harbor Control, this is sailing vessel Windrose requesting to transit Pearl Harbor to Rainbow Bay Marina.
How many souls on board?
2 souls on board.
Control copies. You have permission.
Thank you. Man, she asked me how many souls on board were like 6 times. I'm like, 2, still 2. All right, first channel markers down. Heading into the other channel markers straight ahead. All right, we made it into the first channel markers, a little off to the side of it. And now we're just trying to, we're luffing a little bit, but we're trying to get into the next set. This has been quite the adventure. A lot of work when you don't have an engine to just like pop on and go, and you have to do it yourselves. We're both pretty exhausted. Seth more so than me, but the tiller holds a lot of weight, so you're really trying to move it. And yeah, exhausting to say the least. But the channel markers are right there for the second one for the harbor. Then once we get in, the wind should die down a bit, and then we should be a little bit easier, kind of take a breath and reset. We had to tack twice. The first time we didn't have enough power. I think the second time we didn't have enough power, and then the third time we decided to go the opposite direction and tack the jibe. We jibed in the opposite direction, and that worked. What?
We gave up.
We gave up tacking, so we had to jibe.
Got a bunch of quitters.
Yeah, it was hard. The boat had power with the 2 sails, but the wind, it was really tough to get the boat like bow around. So we against the sea because the sea's coming this way and we were trying to turn this way, so it kept trying to turn us back. But after 3 times we did it. And a lot of muscle effort. Right, there's a red right returning. And the green one's right there, the little birds on it.
Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, you shine like gold, so selfless to all, and wild like an animal. Some would say I'm insane in the riding away.
We're really sailing now. We've just passed the other channel markers. Approaching this channel marker. And then we're going to be back in. But we're kind of heeled over a bit. We have the 3 sails up now though. So we are kind of have the most power that we have, which might be good for the inside the harbor. But we do have 2 reefs in the main because we had a lot of wind out there. A little sporty. A little sporty, a little windy.
Just love to play in your fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't
When we hit like waves and like the swell and the wind, the trolling motor on our dinghy that we're towing back there started to kind of like start to fall off. So Seth pulled the line up. I didn't get to film it because it was like a little high stress. And then he got in the boat. So I was like, yeah, in the dinghy. I keep saying got in the boat. Got in the dinghy, and which stressed me out just because I don't want to lose him. I wouldn't know how to turn this boat around fully by myself. So he was able to fix it. So we just have the trolling motor like just nestled inside the dinghy, but it was a little nerve-wracking because we were basically towing him.
your freedom. Oh, you left me to pieces. Yeah, I need it. Once you pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa.
Alright, so we're coming in the harbor. That boat is kind of following us, like we'll tack, they'll tack. And we've been kind of coming in, but we are beating them with just our 2 sails up. So today was an adventure, very tiring, not at all relaxing until we got in the harbor, and basically the harbor is very relaxing.
Out of the harbor was chill, and then obviously coming into the harbor is chill.
The VHF radios, I'm gonna murder it. Patrol boats here really stress me out because they just run around you and they stop, and we also don't have a motor, so my biggest fear is that they're gonna need us to stop or whatever. But I guess
Biggest fear.
that's my biggest fear. I have a lot of fears doing this because it's just different and not many people. I'm sure half of the people at the marina, if not more, wouldn't do this. So I was a little nervous today. It's going good, but he's probably just trying to go into that little harbor over there. I think they like to freak people out. I think they know that there's like women like me on boats, and they're like, let's just see if we can freak them out. They can probably hear into our VHF radio. They're like, all right, we got her spooked. Let's go, boys. So there he is now, but since we're hugging this side, I think he thinks that we're gonna go in there, which is where like the aircraft carriers and everything are. So we're just gonna keep going straight, but he's really popped out wanting to let us know not to mess around in that channel, which we obviously aren't going to. I'm not tacking over there anyways. So if we went in there, that's where the Missouri and the Memorial is. So we're not doing that, going straight. Our camera battery's low. We are losing power, and we obviously don't have electricity to go charge it, but we're just tacking back and forth until we get to the marina. So we're a little bit far out of the marina, but our dock neighbor, one of our dock neighbors mentioned that he'll be around, so we can just throw a line to him. Seth will, I'll probably throw the line, come back steer. Seth will go up and do the jib and lower it. We're just gonna try to come in just using the jib. There's gonna be about, we should tack now. We should tack now. There's gonna be about 10, 20, like 10, 15 knots, 10 to 15 degrees from our starboard side, so should be normal marina winds. It's a little sporty out here now. We did not have this morning, so it's definitely up. Tacking. Okay, gotta. As we were approaching our slip, we were not happy with the angle we would be arriving at, so at the last minute we had to jibe towards the bridge. So the bridge underneath is actually closed off and heavily patrolled, since the Pearl Harbor Memorial and the US Navy ships are actually in that lock of the harbor. So a patrol boat opposite of us actually spotted us and started coming towards us. You'll actually see me radioing them, letting them know that we're not actually trespassing, we're just trying to dock under sail, and we're turning around to get positioned better. Unfortunately, folks, since we didn't have electricity all day, our camera died before it could capture us actually docking under sail. As a camera woman, I was very disappointed, but we did arrive with the main and the jib up, so we would have enough momentum since we had to turn into the wind into our slip. So we did come in kind of hot. We had some dock neighbors there at the slip ready to tie us off. Our rigging for the bowsprit is our weakest since it sits in the salt water constantly. So when we did dock, we did bump into that piece and it did snap, which isn't a big deal and we're not worried about it. It's something we were going to replace anyway, so now we'll just replace it sooner than we had planned, which isn't a big deal. So stay tuned as we will now be attempting to re-rig that piece on our own. All right, we made it in. Seth is just tying up the sails now. I'll put the cover on. Oh, that looks beautiful. All things considered, not much moved. Just have the cushion came here, and then we have the towel that fell, and then I noticed that in our bunk this door came off with the books, but that's it, and it just pops in. It was loose to begin with. So we are back. We hosed off the whole boat. I just hosed off everything, including my hair, just to get the salt and sweat off the boat and myself. And we're gonna toss a couple covers on and call it a night. We'll do a debrief on how it went, like a full thing in the morning. But for now, we're gonna really relax because it was about 12 hours from the time we like literally left to the time that we like finished cleaning up the boat. So if you count including like prep in the morning, probably 14. So all right, we're going to call it and we'll see you bright and shiny in the morning. He said, excuse me. Where were you today? He said this boat was gone this morning at 8 in the morning when we come by and check on you. Duckleberry Finn, did you bring your brother? I know, they're killing me. Don't worry, I completely stopped feeding them, so I don't feed them anymore. But every day at 8 in the morning they come over and I just say hi to them. But today we left at 6, which means that the ducks didn't get to say hi to me this morning. So I think it's hilarious that they're here and they're just checking in because they missed us today. Did you miss us? And here's reality when your pancakes stick. If you add banana to the pancake batter, they stick. So we had a hearty breakfast this morning and we are just relaxing because yesterday's sail was really exhausting mentally and physically. Physically for Seth, probably more mentally for me. I tend to be more stressed, but here is a screenshot of what my stress is usually on a typical day. My Garmin watch tracks just like normal stress. And I'm going to show you now this screenshot, which is the stress level I had when we were out there, because you have to be very calculated and mentally sharp when you're out there because every move that you do has to be done and there's no backup of an engine, so you really have to rely on yourself. So there are a couple things though that we've learned when we came back and we really analyzed, like, okay, what did we do and what would we change in the future? And the one thing that we would have changed is our sail plan, but since it was like our first time really truly sailing the boat on our own and relying on the sails, we didn't know the exact amount of sail we wanted to have like available based on the wind to move our boat. So our boat's heavier, so I think sometimes we lean to have more sail out. In the harbor exiting, we had all 4 sails up and fully out. There was like no reefs and we were cruising at a great comfortable speed, but what we should have done is turned into the wind before we exited the harbor, took down the head sail and the mizzen, just left the jib and the main, and then just transited into the ocean, where we left them all up and then we had to quickly take them down when the wind, because it was just too much sail for the wind that was out there. So what we should have done is turned into the wind and take them down, or we should have just had the 2 up all day and just went a little bit slower in the harbor, but then we wouldn't have had to do all the work taking them down. It's not a lot of work taking them down on all boats, but since we don't have like a lazy jack, so you have to kind of be flaking them as you take them down in wind, but we also have a wooden mast and the track is a little bit difficult to operate, especially as they're flapping around, and Seth was trying to flake them. So we would have just had a sail plan, but you never learn until you do things. So it was a successful trip, a little bit stressed. It wasn't like a relaxing sail. However, that wasn't the purpose. The purpose was to have a calculated, strategic like plan to like operate without an engine. That way, if anything ever happened in the future with our engine, we'd be ready. Where if that ever happened and we didn't have this, we would be like more stressed in the moment trying to figure it out where it wasn't planned. This was planned so that we know that we can do this in the future. So it was very fun. So thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Maybe let us know down in the comments how you like this video and sailing without an engine. So we'll see you next week. Y'all come back now, you hear?